Tonight on the Saga Vault, we're shifting the spotlight onto the figures you barely notice. The extras. The obscure characters and creatures who help fill out a galaxy far, far away. No Luke, no Leia, no Han. We're honoring the faces in the crowd that make Star Wars feel real. So turn up the volume on your Star Wars geekdom and get ready for some deep cuts. 4 collectors, 4 artifacts, 1 open slot. Let's open the vault. Welcome to the Saga Vault, where the world's most passionate Star Wars collectors bring their cherished artifacts to our table. Today, we're looking at items connected to extras. The more obscure, the better. But first, let's meet our collectors. The self-proclaimed Lobot of Star Wars collecting, Mr. Vic Wertz. Unfortunately, he's a lot more talkative than Lobot.
Barely.
Steve Sansweet, the man George Lucas sent to Comic-Con. Kind of like George's extra.
Ooh.
Direct from the forest moon of Endor, it's Logray's second cousin, Gus Lopez. And finally, the man who looks like he just got thrown out of the Mos Eisley Cantina, Duncan Jenkins. Well, what do you got, Duncan?
Let's start us off.
All right.
Okay.
So, Duncan, what have you brought to us today?
I have some Star Wars stamps. More accurately, these are seals. So stamp collecting was very popular in the 70s.
It absolutely was.
There was a Star Wars stamp album, and then there were these little individual packs that came with a lot of used stamps with space themes from around the world. To add a little bit more spice to it, you got a sheet of these seals with some Star Wars imagery. There were 6 different of these, and this one is the Cantina scenes. It seems like a no-brainer that you would have Cantina merchandise everywhere after Star Wars. It was the thing people talked about, along with the space battle and everything. But interestingly enough, they really didn't use much of the Cantina aliens. So this is one of those few. Most of these are called Cantina patrons, which makes them sound very elegant. And the one that's the fun one in the top corner there, the hammerhead that we know and call hammerhead, here he's called gatorhead. Right. So this is the only place that we've ever had a gatorhead in the Star Wars universe.
I could see myself buying this at the time if I saw this on a shelf.
Another one of these that was on Tatooine scenes has a Tusken Raider, and they call him a sand citizen. So,
well,
again,
that's very nice.
Very respectful. He's very respectful. So he's going to go to hang out with the Cantina patrons a little later on.
Were there others in the series, like
yes.
besides Cantina?
Yeah, there were 6 in the series, but this was the most obscure-ish one, the Cantina and the humor there of the gator head. But they did a Death Star encounter. I think they even had an escape from the Death Star, which is an interesting one.
Well, they were trying to escape from the Death Star.
And they literally, yes, everybody except Ben did. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Speaking of downers, let's move on to...
Thanks for that lovely intro, Dan.
Absolutely.
So this is a prototype TIE Pilot helmet from the Riddell line. So they made a series of 5 different helmets at this scale. It's similar to the football helmets that Riddell makes.
Right.
They had originally done Luke's X-Wing helmet, C-3PO, Darth Vader, Stormtrooper, and Boba Fett, and had planned to release a TIE Fighter Pilot. And they made a few prototypes of this. So Chris Reif, who designed it, had a few different prototypes that he made. This has always been one of my favorite helmets. Across all of Star Wars, it's one of my favorite helmets. They only did the 5 helmets under Riddell, and then they moved to other licensees to do similar scaled helmets, which I thought was cool because you can sort of collect them together and there's a consistency to them. But they never made a TIE Pilot. This was only in prototype form, which is kind of unusual because they made some obscure, the other licensees made obscure like clone trooper helmets, things that aren't as memorable. But as extras go, the TIE Pilots are one of the more memorable sort of background characters in Star Wars.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So does your prototype have insides?
Like the other Riddell helmets, they put detail on the insides. They made incredible attention to detail on this. And I know, because I own one, that this is a very authentic, scaled down version of a TIE Fighter Pilot helmet.
Right.
So is this a casting or is this a sculpt?
It looks like it's a urethane, I think. So I think it's a casting. Yeah.
And Chris has gone on to work for Hasbro in the Star Wars.
That's right. He's done some amazing stuff at Hasbro. I mean, it's great when these companies hire experts that know Star Wars, that are passionate about Star Wars.
Right. It's a lot of bang for their buck when they bring in people like that.
Oh, yeah.
Smart, right?
When you finally get a person like that on your team, it's like they can do marvelous stuff that really connects with fans.
And so I assume these are hand painted. And,
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
hand painted, and so he deconstructed each one.
Yeah.
It's also, and people realize this, that TIE pilots are one of the major sets of extras that were female in the original Star Wars.
That's a great piece.
Yeah.
It's a great piece. All right, let's move on. Anybody hungry? Steve, are you serving us some dessert here?
One of the most obscure characters that has caught on in Star Wars is Willrow Hood. Willrow Hood was a background extra in The Empire Strikes Back when the Imperials invaded Cloud City, who was dressed in an orange jumpsuit and carrying this white container that people identified as an ice cream maker.
Right.
So it became Willrow Hood, the Ice Cream Man, and fans have taken it to a real cosplay item and carrying what has come to be known in fantasy as a Camtono.
Really?
So the Georgia Star Wars Collectors Club has done this whole Willrow Hood ice cream theme as swag. This was from the initial go-round, the ice cream scoop and the actual ice cream container at Star Wars Celebration in 2020. But we have a Willrow Hood ice cream menu,
That's awesome.
and then we have
Some great
amazing
artwork.
patches. Dengar de Leche, Bosque Road from Bosque, Cinnamon Swirl for Leia. Luke has slice cream, Carbonite Crunch, Blue Smoothie for Lando. I mean, it's just, it's a whole world.
Do you know if this was one of the items that they went to get approved as a fan item, or is this something they just sort of did as swag?
It just
without-
sort of did a swag.
Yeah, yeah.
Hard enough to get all the patches, but then to try to get all the sponsor exclusive stuff is even harder.
So what flavor of ice cream was in this when they gave it away?
Air.
Oh, a very light flavor. I see.
Very light
Very
flavor.
light. Yeah, so there is no ice cream. It's just a container.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very unusual. This is going to be a hard one to beat. I think it's very unique. All right, let's move on, Vic. You got to follow up a real toughie here.
I think I got a shot.
I know what this is, but why don't you tell everyone else what this is?
This is Nanta.
Nanta.
He is an Ewok. So
Really? He's an Ewok.
He's an Ewok.
Okay.
So we acquired this Ewok mask in the late 90s. And when we acquired it, it was just Ewok used in Return of the Jedi. Shortly after I got it, I was examining it and I found a faint red pen written in the inside and managed to get a almost legible name. But once I compared it to the cast list for people who played Ewoks in Return of the Jedi, it became obvious that it says Phil Fondacaro. And Phil was nice enough to send me a photo of himself in costume. Then I asked him, did your character do anything noteworthy? And he said, yeah, I'm the only Ewok who dies on screen. Mm-hmm. At the time, in the late 90s, he actually didn't have a name, and the fans had taken to referring to him as Corpsey.
Wow. Corpsey.
That is a classic.
It's a cute name.
Yeah.
So he finally got a name in 2012 when Hasbro put him in a Ewok multi-action figure pack and called him Nanta. It's held up really well. Foam latex, which is what it's primarily made of, either disintegrates or it kind of, stabilizes. Mm-hmm. And he stayed really stable.
a lot of times when hair is applied to foam latex, the glue that they use actually seeps into the foam latex and helps it preserve it for the long term. Is this the one that dies anybody's favorite Ewok?
This guy made people cry in the theaters.
Yeah,
that's
You
true.
might not know his name.
Yeah. We all love the Ewoks, and this piece is awesome. Thanks for bringing it. I think we are ready to jump into the opinion part of this show.
Okay.
We got some great pieces here. Duncan, we got some stamp seals with all the Cantina characters on it. Gus, we have a TIE Fighter Pilot helmet, a small miniature version, an unproduced prototype. Steve, we have a ice cream scoop and a bucket. For Willrow Hood, I think that's a really interesting piece. And last but not least, we have the only Ewok that dies, the actual prop mask that was worn. Let's dive into what is going to be winding up in the vault.
Well, I guess talking about extras, right? And so definitely Willrow Hood falls under that category. And then I would say TIE pilots do as well. Just a question of how much interaction when it becomes somebody that you can actually point to and say, I know instantly who you're talking about. Is it still an extra?
Gus?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting mix. I mean, they're really very different kinds of extras. I mean, I think the Willrow Hood has this. It grew out of fandom, really. I haven't really seen the seal stuff a lot before, so that's an intriguing as well. The fact that it's an early item, it's the earliest of all the things up there, makes it kind of fascinating.
Steve, what are your thoughts?
Well, the Ewok mask would be my favorite, except I don't know whether it was fumigated before he brought it here. Endor has lots of bugs and creatures, so I just want to make sure.
It's from California, just like you.
Vic?
While I enjoy the stamps, I do think I actually have that set and a couple of the others. Obviously, I don't have the Riddell helmet, because only Gus has the Riddell helmet.
I beg your pardon.
Do you?
I have
You've
that
got one
too.
of the others? Well, that
I think
makes
we're the
it
only
even
ones though,
less
that have
special.
them.
This Ewok made people cry without you even knowing his name, without him even having a name.
Taking it back to the category for this particular episode, it's meant to be extras. I think the ice cream container guy that I still cannot remember his name for.
Willrow
Hood. That is truly an extra scene that just happened to happen, and that is the definition of extra. It's just opinion. At this point, it's opinion. What's important to you? What do you think should wind up in the vault? So I think we should just jump into the vote.
All right.
Okay.
That's good marker.
Alrighty, everybody locked in their decisions.
I'm locked.
Duncan?
Well, you make a very good point. I think Willrow Hood is the quintessential extra. But for putting in the vault, I had to go with the Ewok mask.
Okay. Interesting choice. Gus?
I think if we're trying to represent an extra, you should have a thing that literally is from an extra. So I said Ewok mask.
All right. Good choice.
Well, I agree, so I picked Corpsey.
Corpsey, nice. Vic?
I did not vote for Corpsey. I voted for Nanta. Because he made people cry. Come on, people. He made people cry.
Well, I also voted for the dead Ewok.
Right.
So we have
A
a
unanimous.
unanimous decision. Yet, it actually could go a different route because the audience chooses what goes in the vault. So, vote. We need you to vote. We need to find out what piece here is going in the vault, and we won't know for the next week until you guys finish voting. Please do it. Congrats on your half win so far, and goodbye, everybody.